be the third CHENXI watch that I've had under review on this channel. The other two I've been quite happy with. This one, happy, but the mistake I made is I bought the wrong size. Or I think I bought the wrong size. Now this is designed on a vintage styled watch, and because of that, vintage styled watches are generally smaller than the watches that are popular today. But I think this is a bit too small, even for my 6.5 inch wrist. So let's have a look at this thing. Good day to you all, and welcome back to another BBW review. So this is the, as I mentioned, the third CHENXI watch I have, and this is the CX079G. I bought this because of I'm getting into a more classic design watch, and I think this really suits the bill. But as I will show you once it's on the wrist, I think I bought it in the wrong size. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that these classic design watches originally were designed to be worn quite small. This one is actually 23 millimeters across there and 35 millimeters from lug to lug. This is available in two different colors, the white or off-white there and the black, with either the leather strap or a stainless steel strap. But the other size is 40 millimeters. So initially I thought, I'm generally used to 40 millimeters, but because it's a classic design watch, I thought I'd go down a bit and buy one that's more suitable for the time period, being a smaller watch. But I think this is a bit too small. And again, I'll show you exactly what it looks like, why I think it's too small, when I show you the wrist shot. So the dimensions, again, it's 23 millimeters across the east to west there, and the more important measurement, the lug width, is a mere 35 millimeters from lug to lug. Very stubby lugs, so this is going to fit any wrist. This size I think is more suitable for a woman. The depth is 10 millimeters from the base to the slightly curved mineral crystal on top, with a very small but suitably sized 4 millimeter crown. The material under construction is of course going to be a chrome plated alloy. Sorry, the first thing I should mention is the more important part of this watch is the price, which is just $8 shipped and packaged from China for me. Now the dial itself, as I mentioned, there is a black and this off-white or almost silver, which I really like. You can see, if I can get that into focus, you get quite a nice radial pattern within the inner rectangle there, with the name CHENXI in a nice font below the 12, and if I can pick that out, Quartz below, or sorry, above the 6 there. So outside of this triangle you have the Roman numerals, which are, if you can see in the light there, they are applied, quite well applied there. And beyond that, in the outer circumference, you have a train track which shows you the minutes, and minutes printed every 10, 20, 30, round to the top there. The hands themselves are blued. I'm not sure if you can pick that out in the light. They are blue coloured, not blued, as in heat treated. And you have a date window at the 3. It's quite a small date window, and it actually progresses in the date, I think about the 11 o'clock position. So as I progress the time, you'll notice about 10 o'clock it's moving there, and it eventually flips over at, it's turning at 11, by about 10 to 12, it clicks into position. So 10 minutes before the midnight hour, it changes the date. And that's start that second hand going. The second hand is quite, it does match all the markers there quite well, although it's quite far from the markers themselves to check that. The hands themselves are, the lengths are not too bad. The hour and the minute both look around the same size, but they do reach the points they should match. The design of the case itself, I do like the case, but apart from being too small, I do like the design, especially this curve here. So it's not a typical tank style with horizontal lines. You do get a curve on the top and the bottom, which I do like. But it's going to be pretty basic. All these styled kind of square or rectangular styled watches do have a similar shape, which is quite basic. No design bending or shaping there at all. And again, very small lugs, which do make this even smaller than it should be, or I would like it to be. The lugs themselves hang on to a 15mm wide leather strap, and the strap itself is what you'd expect from an $8 strap. It's a faux crocodile there with a reasonable amount of holes. On the other side you have two keepers, one fixed, one floating, and a bare basic buckle and tang, but it has been signed, as you see there, with the CHENXI there, and it is apparently leather, but probably a very cheap quality leather, although there it does say 16mm. It's about 15 to 16mm lug width there. So while we have the back in view here, the details are steel back, it's water resistant, you have the brand name there, the CX079L, and that's about it. So it's going to be a pull-off, press-down cover, and the movement inside is going to be what you would expect for the price of $8. But if you look at the minute hand or lack of minute hand movement bounce, when we do set the time, so looking at the minute hand there, now I'm going to give this 3 chances. Does it move? So from the thumb, no. Finger and thumb, position again over the 12. No, and once more, just the finger now. 1, 2, 3. There's no movement at all, so that's quite good. The resistance, you have a reasonable amount of resistance, it's not too floppy, but I don't know why they don't make these resistances a bit more taut, just for confidence levels, but it's okay. It's what you'd expect again for $8. And set that. So all in all, it is a very nice looking watch. My only downside is it's too small. So let me show you what this does look like on my slim 6.5 inch wrist. So here it is in close up. Again, the light does catch that texture dial quite well. It does give it a kind of classy look, and one which kind of belies the $8 price tag. It does look a bit more expensive than that. And the profile. So obviously at this size, you're going to get no gaps under the lugs, and it just curves quite nicely around the wrist. No gaps at all under lugs, and it does feel okay, and it wears very flat, 10mm, very flat onto the wrist. But it doesn't look too bad here, it doesn't look too small, but I think I would have preferred somewhere in between this size, which is the 33mm, and the second size, which is 40mm. 40 I think would have been a bit too big for this style watch, and for me, the 33mm, it just feels a bit too small. I think somewhere around 37 would have been an ideal measurement there. But, I mean, you may like a smaller styled watch. I do, but but this is a bit too small for me. There's the wrist roll. So all in all, I thoroughly recommend it for the price anyway. But again, and for the last time, I just wish I had maybe gotten the 40mm. Possibly being a bit too big would look a bit better than being a bit too small. So there you have it, the CHENXI CX079G. So there you have it, the CHENXI CX079G, vintage styled watch, and one that I would recommend. I would recommend it a lot more if I bought the right size, but perhaps this might be a suitable size and shape for you. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again with another watch on the green chair. Until then, as always, take it easy.